I did see some questions coming in from Twitter, so we can start there. One of them, I think I saw somebody was asking about how iOS 6 was impacting YouTube video. And I think the more interesting, rather than Apple dropping YouTube from iOS 6 impacting Google and YouTube, it seems like it's actually impacted Apple a little bit more. With the YouTube dropping and then the Google Maps, people kind of have been switching more towards Android. The Samsung Galaxy S, which is kind of the flagship Android phone, was the most popular phone last quarter in terms of sales. That's pretty significant, I think, considering that the new iPhone just came out. So we'll see what happens in the next couple quarters. But there are some other players that are coming onto the scene that are kind of taking a bigger presence.
If you do have questions, just raise your hand. JP is walking around with a microphone for all of you as well.
Probably good to hear someone else's voice for a second. Come on. You don't have to hide behind. There you go.
There's one in the back, too.
I don't tweet very quick. It's not working either. I don't tweet very quickly about this shop. Early on, you mentioned that 25% of American consumers are brand loyal. I'm assuming that's kind of the entire spectrum of American consumers. Do you have any thoughts for how that breaks out from a B2B perspective?
The report we looked at was just kind of Americans in general. I would assume B2B would be a little bit higher just because you kind of make more of that connection with the sales rep. It's a little bit different than, say, Bounty. And my best friend is like, this paper towel is way better. I don't have conversations about paper towels all the time. But just so I don't know why that came to my mind first. But you're going to be less loyal because your friends are going to actually have a lot more of implication on your decision than necessarily from a professional realm in B2B.
I would assume, though, that B2B brand loyalty is dropping, too. And maybe for the same reasons that B2C would be. It's really, Mel doesn't have conversations with people about paper towels every day, but they're going on online, and we're seeing those. And maybe she would have a conversation with somebody who lives in California if they were here, but oh wait, they're on Facebook, or in, So those conversations are a little bit easier to have now. So, makes sense.
It's interesting to watch.
Yeah. Back.
How you doing? I have a question from a kind of old school industry. I'm in trucking, talking about B2B marketing, the trucking companies. Is how do you determine what fits? How do you not be Chris Farley? And then how do you track and go into metrics? How do you track to make sure what decision that we make, that we made the right decision and we're going forward?
Well, there are a number of tracking tools that you can use, from Google Analytics to, some of the ones that we use for social media, STL, Radian 6. There are so many tools that will do that for you, actually. So they'll monitor engagement. They'll monitor traffic. So you can actually see if you post a video, is that driving traffic to your website? And, with a combination of those tools, you can actually really start to see what's working and what's not. And that's a really important step is to take that extra setup time, to get that monitoring set up, because you could be doing something and think, oh, this is great, people are going to love it, and it could be a total flop. So be sure that you're doing these monitoring
Some quick things you can do, though, too, because I know we can't always afford monitoring tools. If you think there's a presence on Twitter, go and start searching some keywords that are related to your brand. If you don't see them, it's probably not where you're going to engage. Hit up some forum boards, even just a quick Google search. See what comes up first. And then go in there and see what's going on with those conversations. Do I need to jump in here? Oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to leave that alone. So there's some smaller things you can do as well, except for those big monitoring systems. But the greatest thing, too, about social media and all this data collection we've been talking about is the fact that you can fail faster and recorrect the ship. So it's allowing us to fail quickly and then change our strategy almost in real time. I mean, the days of having a year-long marketing plan are pretty much over. So.
Yeah, and just one more quick point on that. Everyone I talk to, so many people I talk to think, oh, my brand isn't really that cool. The things that I deal with, people aren't talking about. They are. These conversations are happening. And like Mel said, just Google it. Just see. And you'll find these conversations, and you can actually use those. And over here, JP?
Run.
Go.
JP, go.
carrying 2 microphones.
He's prepared.
Okay, so we've been talking about optimizing different applications to go across the board. And you were mentioning that this tout is a 15-second video, and then we have YouTube and other methods. What right now is the ideal time for a business-to-business video, which would be more instructional or advertised? I mean, how do you delineate between those?
So a lot of it, you can't just say, you know, this is the length for a B2B video, you know, and it does make a difference if it's a promotional video, if it's a how-to. It really does depend. But you know, this goes back to the monitoring and kind of analysis that we talked about just a second ago, where try something, you know. If you make a 15-minute video, which is probably too long, but if you do, you know, and there are some cases for that where that would make sense, but, you know, try it. And you can actually monitor when people drop off. So there are some tools that you can use to actually see, depending on what video player you're using, but did they stop watching after 2 minutes? You know, did they get bored? And that might, you know, just kind of be a clue that you need to rework your content a little bit to make it either more engaging or just more concise. You know?
Rule of thumb, though, I mean, definitely don't go over this long for
We've had some B2B clients that actually, it's depending on what your audience and what it's for too, because we've had some put up webinars from things that are over an hour long, and no one drops off because it's valuable content.
Yeah.
As long as you're providing them something that they need and they're gonna wanna keep engaging with it, you're gonna be okay. But for quick hits, over 30 seconds, people just kind of start, I'm done. So just making sure you understand what you're putting out there, who you're trying to reach, and what you want them to do. That call to action is extremely important as well. So you want them to get to the end to do that call to action.
So with all these social sites as well as companies' websites, how often do you have to feed content to the social sites, and how often should you feed content to your main website?
I think this kind of goes along with the earlier Twitter question about content marketing and how it can help socialize your brand as well. It really depends. I don't want you to sit here and think you have to put up a Facebook post twice a day. There's no reason necessarily to do that. Facebook is not as real time as Twitter. For some of us, we recommend that clients, depends on your resources. No one really, how many people here have a dedicated social media person that actually posts to their page every day? Maybe I see 2, 3, 4, 5 hands up. So that being said, creating a content calendar and talking to everyone in your departments, you need to be talking to everyone. Everyone needs to be giving content. At ThunderTech, we have a competition because we try to get these guys to give us stuff all the time, and they won't unless we give them a happy hour. So, but it works. So getting that content, being able to fill in the calendar, Facebook, like I said, once a week, it's okay. But just making sure the most important part is monitoring those comments. If someone's trying to interact with you, don't ignore them. So we have checklists that we make. Like check Facebook once a day to see if there's a comment. Make sure I post on Wednesdays. Making sure you're looking at those stats too to see when most people are commenting and sharing, and play with it. Don't forget that social media doesn't shut off at 5 o'clock. Try scheduling things in advance. Facebook now lets you schedule these things, which is great. I don't want to just talk about Facebook either. With Twitter, it's more real time. We want you to be there every day. But again, there's tools where you can schedule them, but go back and check your messages, set up alerts. Don't feel like you have to be on every channel all the time, every day. It's just kind of what you can do with your strategy.
We have a question from Twitter, and just to answer Craig's, yes, there are more bagels in the lobby. But another actual question is, should brands encourage their staff to become advocates on social media, and how?
So this is a touchy subject. It was funny, as I was coming in this morning, I listened to Elvis Duran. Has anyone listened to that? And they were talking about, did you hear when they were talking about Facebook and employers are actually making people hand over their Twitter passwords and accounts to see what they're doing there? No one? Okay, crickets, never mind. I know I talked to Mark a lot, our operations department, about whether or not that's really legal. It's very illegal. But some brands are more social, and they actually really encourage their employees to go out and talk about their brand. We encourage that because it makes you a little bit more transparent. It also involves a little bit more of a trust factor. And with B2B, it's more, how do you want them to interact? We have guidelines for our employees. Ours are probably a little bit more loose than some other brands. It's really just don't be stupid or don't talk bad about our clients. So It's something internally you really have to decide, all right, do we want to get our employees on board? If we do, how do we do it? At the very least, everyone needs to have some sort of policy in place, so if something catastrophic does happen, there is some kind of repercussions, or the employee actually knows what's going to happen without them just coming back and being like, well, I thought it was okay, you never talked to me about it. There is a very minimal education for employees on how to promote their own company. Really need to start doing that more.
And you can be selective about that too. It's not all or none. You know, if you have employees that are already advocates for your brand and they're already out there in the world and being seen, you know, it might make sense to put them on social media as well versus everyone. If there are trust issues and things like that, I think you can be selective about it.
Any more real life questions? Any more Twitter questions? All right.
All right. So since you haven't heard me talk in a little while, I'm back. Again, we do thank everybody for coming here this morning. For those of you who obviously saw trends.thundertech.com from the very beginning, as I did mention from the get-go, we'll be sending out an email most likely on Thursday that will direct you to that URL. At that time, you'll be able to see the videos that were in the presentation today, as also all the different videos of those 10 trends. You can forward that URL onto any of your coworkers, but they will be living on YouTube. There are several ThunderTech employees here in the room this morning. If you have any questions after the event, feel free to grab one of us. We can answer those questions for you. If you come up with a question tomorrow and a week from now, feel free to contact your account manager. If you do not have an account manager, just reach out to us on our website, or you can call us and we can have those conversations with you. Again, we do thank you all for being here this morning, and I'm sure you all have to get back to work, so we'll let you all go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.